right, so we had another big game, Illinois and Duke, a game that we both heavily favored Illinois. I remember like the FPI predictor on ESPN was given, I think Duke
Yeah,
the spread and Illinois like a slight. No, Illinois I think had the spread and Duke had like a 50 to 40 something chance to win it.
yeah, I want to say it was really close like that.
Yeah, and this is a game that once again I want to reiterate I just I never thought at any point that Duke had this game worked out. I didn't think that they were ever gonna really stand a chance against this Illinois team. This is a good Illinois team, and
Yeah,
this is a Duke team that likes to kind of they start like a snail. I mean they are so slow at starting these games offensively, and that kills you whenever you play a team like Illinois that will make you hurt.
yeah. I mean, I will say this game, this in particular here, I at halftime I was kind of like, shit, all right, maybe this is going to be a decent game.
Yeah,
I mean, it was 14-13 they were going into half. I know that Illinois was still leading at half, but it was still a close game. And then after that, Illinois came out and just kind of really took control of this football game, and it shows on the scoreboard. And I think we really hit it on the nose with this Illinois team handling this Duke team really well.
yeah, and it was one of those instances where you're just like the entire time you're watching it, you're you're thinking how long can Duke keep this up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long can they keep hanging with this team? Because I feel like everybody thought or knew Illinois was the better team. Duke was just kind of lingering like they do in other games, and then like you said, uh, once they got in that second half, it really started to go downhill for Manny Diaz and his Blue Devils. I I don't know. As far as the Duke Blue Devils go in their season, I honestly I think Manny Diaz is still gonna have. I think he's on track to have a really good year if he can refocus this team. I'll put it like this: they have a lot of opportunities. Whether or not, like I said, I don't think this Duke team is great. I think they can win football, or football games. I don't know. They're not going to win against Clemson. Huh? You know what? I retract that. Clemson looked terrible over the weekend. Tulane, that's an 8 o'clock game. You're at Tulane. That's a trap game for Manny Diaz. If he loses that game, it could start to spiral very quickly.
Yes.
On the season, that's a big game for Manny Diaz. Probably a one he knew. I'm sure he's gonna have his team prepared for that. Going and playing 8 o'clock against a team like Tulane that in recent years has been phenomenal as a football program, to say the least, is you're not gonna kind of like Boise State in recent years. They've kind of you no longer sleep on a team like Tulane. That's a team that you prepare for these days because I mean in recent years, dude, they have been on it. NC
Yep.
State, Syracuse, beatable, California, beatable, Georgia Tech, beatable, Clemson, beatable, given what we've seen with
Yeah.
Troy.
They really showed.
UConn has been terrible since like 2007, whenever they were actually
Yeah.
pretty good. Obviously, Billy Boys Tar Heels, who we seen week one get slaughtered and who did not look overly impressive this past week. Yeah, this is a very manageable schedule and eh,
It is.
very opportunistic schedule for Manny Diaz and what is this year 2 I think for Manny Diaz, right?
Right. Yes, yes. I believe you are right there. What I'll say is, I mean, I think you're right. All of these games are it's a very winnable and doable schedule. But the biggest thing is he's got to really crack down on these turnovers. I mean, they had 3 fumbles in that game and an interception. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not how you win games. We talked about the turnover column and how much that matters, and it doesn't matter. I mean, your opponent level, obviously. you can afford to get away with some of these turnovers, but a team like Illinois showed why you just can't. You can't do that and expect to win or even really be in a game like that. You really have to. He's really got to nip that in the butt and try to take care of that early, and not make this team a habit and a crutch, I guess, to
Yeah,
rely and just constantly turning the ball over.
if you're turning the football over 5 times, I don't in any game,
Yeah.
that's a massive problem. So
Yes.
something to pay attention whenever they go to Tulane this weekend. I just want to throw out that is going to be a sleeper game. That's going to be overlooked by a lot of people. That is going to be a phenomenal football game. So do not overlook that game against Tulane. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. That is going to be a great game. So,
Yeah.
um, as for Illinois, once again, very, very opportunistic schedule for Brett Bielema. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this schedule. I have 3 teams that stand out to me. The rest, I think Illinois is better. I would say I think they're better in Indiana. I think they're going to win there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close. I think they'll win. Obviously, they should beat Western Michigan, but USC is a team. Now, here's the big thing: they're home for USC. USC has to come
Yes.
across the country to them. That's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are. uh, Any team that has to go, these Big Ten teams, it's kind of like returning the favor in my eyes, because a team like Penn State or Ohio State, whenever they would travel for the Rose Bowl and go all the way out to the Rose Bowl and play a Pac 12 team that's already on the West Coast,
Yeah.
out of the gate, dude, it's like they're already at a disadvantage because they traveled all the way across the country. And you have a team like USC who is right there, basically their hometown, playing
Yeah.
in the Rose Bowl. And it's like you just, right out of the gate, you're like, well, they're already at a disadvantage. So it's kind of like repaying the favor having these West Coast teams come all the way back over to the East Coast. I think that the USC game is going to be a fantastic game between these two. Purdue, I think that's a win. Ohio State, obviously, don't need to talk about that very much. I think that that game is going to be college game day whenever it
Yes.
goes. And I don't really know what week is that. That's October 11th. I don't know what the slate is for that week. So I don't know. I guess game day will be, we'll have to see. But regardless, it has the opportunity. I mean, you have, if Illinois wins out, I think it'll definitely be game day. But if they do drop a
Yeah.
game, we'll see. But Washington, winnable. Rutgers, winnable. Maryland, the rest of the season, very winnable. So, I mean, I don't know. Brett Bielema, this might be his year to capitalize.
Yeah. I definitely think he has a chance here with this schedule. I think it is a weak Big Ten schedule, but it's a schedule that could easily land him in the Big Ten championship game. Um, with the exception, obviously, is if someone else were to go undefeated, somehow they don't play Ohio State or they don't play Oregon or Penn State. Because in my opinion, right now, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, those are my top three to make the Big Ten championship game. But Illinois, looking at this schedule, has a very, very good chance.
I'm telling you, this schedule for Illinois, it's
They have a really good chance this
yeah,
year.
very, very manageable schedule for Brett Bielema.